Hey everybody, I'm Tim and welcome to the Mr. Maple Show.
Hey guys, I'm Matt. Welcome to the Saturday Showcase. Backed by popular demand, we have Acer Shirasawanum Full Moon Maples Part 2. So we're going to go into 5 more of our favorite Acer Shirasawanums, break this species down. We love doing these little bites of interesting pieces for you. The Saturday Showcase is the perfect place for us to talk about collections. We've broke those down by some of the nurseries or country of origin. Today we're looking at a specific species, the Acer Shirasawanum, one of our favorite Japanese maple species. And we're going to look at 5 more cultivars. We've already filmed a part 1 to this, so you may want to check that out. After you're done with this one, part 2 is going to be a good part.
Yeah, we've got some amazing plants on the table today. We got some amazing plants we talked about in part 1. If you haven't seen part 1, go check that out for sure. Also, if you're watching this live, get involved in the live chat. We have a great community of people who watch these videos the moment they air at 9 a.m. in the morning, and that's Eastern Standard Time. People get in there, great community there. If you're watching this as this video is live, get involved in that live chat. We'd really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share this video with your gardening friends. And as always, we appreciate if you shop on MrMaple.com.
So guys, there's a lot of things to love about Acer Shirasawanums. Now these were divided out from being in the same section with Acer japonicums by dendrologists, and both of them still retain some of that full moon title, but they're 2 different species. We love Acer Shirasawanums. We actually did a whole section too on Acer japonicums, so if you like this kind of geeky stuff, check that out. Today we're back with 5 more Acer Shirasawanum cultivars.
We're going to start out down here with Acer Shirasawanum Red Wing. Red Wing is an amazing plant. This is a plant that's got that large full moon style leaf. Gives you some really nice yellows to oranges in the fall. But the thing where this tree gets its name is the samaras. The seeds are a bright, bright red.
Yeah, people often will get this one. They'll say, I think you sent me the wrong tree. The foliage is green. And no, it's not actually named for the foliage. It is those red samaras that look like wings, often indicative on Acer Shirasawanums. One of the defining characteristics, but not the only, are that often the seeds aim up. Some people will say all that only happens on Acer Shirasawanums. Now I can think of a lot of things that break that exception, but it certainly happens very frequently with Acer Shirasawanums. And so Red Wing has those samaras that aim up. They're a nice pinkish red, and you can kind of see them there, especially in the early springtime, looking like bouquets over that larger lime green foliage.
Yeah, and as the fall approaches, those seeds get more and more intense on their color, and they're going to show off more and more and more throughout the season. Red Wing is an amazing plant, and its seed really stands out from a lot of the traditional species that typically will give you more of that green, that lime green color to brown that you get on Acer Shirasawanum. Awesome plant, definitely give you some color contrast, almost like those bouquets of flower like you were talking about.
Yeah, large round foliage on this one too. It's probably the one that's the most like the original Acer Shirasawanum species, but a lovely selection here. And one I think you should definitely be growing if you're not familiar with it. It does sell out pretty quickly. I think everybody seeks this one, you know, kind of for that bouquet look. It also it has that kind of uniqueness to it, and all that samara is aiming up just gives it like a little extra, almost flowering-like appeal. I mean, it's not the flower, but it gives you that spring bouquet flower feel to it.
It really does. It really does. And then we got an awesome plant coming up at number 2.
Yeah, Acer Shirasawanum Moonrise. Now, this may be the most popular of any of the Acer Shirasawanums. I know this one recently hit Europe, and it has become a phenomenon. Our good friend Carl Munn, who's a mentor to us here at this nursery as well, introduced Moonrise, often referred to by its unpatented name, Munn 001. The trademark name on this one, though, is Moonrise. Awesome plant to be growing, and one we can't do enough of here at our nursery.
For Acer Shirasawanum, you often hear me talk about putting them in a pot and moving them around to find their sweet spot. Moonrise is very heat tolerant, so it can actually handle a lot more heat than some of the other Acer Shirasawanums. I mean, you can put this in a lot of different places in the yard. We're growing it in full sun where we couldn't grow autumn moon. The colors on this too are more intense. I mean, we get some really nice shades of pink reds and purples all at the same time with lime green to yellow. It's an amazing plant that has this malting phase in the springtime, in the summer, and then in the fall it can really give you some nice shades of yellow with some orange.
If you can give this one early morning sun, late day shade in the south, I think that's typically ideal, but we have ours in full all day sun. The early morning sun's great because it actually picks up the colors, so you get even more intense division of colors on this one. It's not uncommon to have apricot, red, and neon yellow all at the same time on this one. There's some really dramatic photos of Moonrise because it's one of the most colorful trees we do. It's easy to see why it's so popular all around the world now. And, you know, I can't say enough good things about Acer Shirasawanum Moonrise. It's probably, if we had all things even, the people's choice. Like, it probably would sell out faster than any of the other Shirasawanums.
It really would. We try to keep it in stock here at Mr. Maple. So if it's not available when you're watching this video, go to our website. You can actually click the Notify Me button if it says sold out, and then you can put in your email address to get notified when this tree becomes available again. But Moonrise is an amazing plant. It's a little more vigorous than some of the other Acer Shirasawanums as well. Love that plant. It's one of my favorite Acer Shirasawanums.
Yeah, easy to grow and just an all-around great plant. Large Shirasawanum-like foliage as well, so it's going to have a very rounded full moon look to it. Just an overall great plant though, and one we can't do enough of. I mean, it's one, if I had a full greenhouse of these, I'd probably sell a full greenhouse of these. Everybody sees it, and it kind of gets that emotional reaction to it. It's one of those trees that you just can't do enough of. And Carl's such a nice guy that I always think of him when I grow this plant. And just an awesome guy. He's had a huge impact on our nursery. Shout out to Carl Munn. He's somebody that's mentored us and just an amazing guy. Really like one of those Mount Rushmore kind of guys for Japanese maples as well.
Now, Carl leads us into this next story because we got to see the hybridizers and meet the hybridizers that found the original Acer Shirasawanum sensu. And they, Jim Baggett and Dr. Al Mosley, they were going through a lot of seedlings from Acer Shirasawanum palmatifolium. We actually got to go visit Dr. Al Mosley and see one of the original JB50s that became Acer Shirasawanum sensu.
Yeah, Talon Buchholz actually took this one, put a name on it. Another mentor of ours. Sensu is a great Acer Shirasawanum. Now, I like this one. Looks nothing like Moonrise. Has way more elongated foliage. So this one
almost hand-like.
Yeah, it almost has that finger look to it because each of the lobes are very elongated. It leaves out with a bronzing of colors, but actually fades to a light green with pink new growth often midsummer. Awesome plant to be growing in the landscape.
And this one really has some really good fall colors too. I mean, those oranges and reds in the fall. I mean, it just has almost often come from the tips of the leaves and then go inward. I mean, it just puts on a very dramatic display of fall color. Again, a very vigorous Acer Shirasawanum, probably because it has that parent plant of Shirasawanum palmatifolium. And
likely a hybrid with palmatum. Definitely some palmatum influence for that vigor.
Definitely. And the leaf is more divided than most of the Acer Shirasawanums that until this point.
Almost reminds you of more of like a Matsumure style leaf full moon.
It does. It very much does. Love this plant. And Talon put a name on it that's just perfect with sensu. Amazing plant, and is a plant that I think needs to be propagated more and used more in the nursery trade.
For sure. Now, next up here on the table, we've got another home run hitter, Acer Shirasawanum, probably X, but Acer Shirasawanum Jordan. Now, many of you know this one. It is neon yellow in the early spring. When my wife and I were dating, she knew nothing about Japanese maples, but when we pulled up there in the driveway, she said, "How's my neon tree doing?" And I knew exactly what she meant. We actually moved it now in our current yard. It left from my parents' place to my current home I'm in now because my wife loved that tree so much. So I dug it up there out of Maplewood Gardens and brought it home to us now. But that was her neon tree. She always had to ask about that one. She knew nothing about trees, but that color sparked that bit of imagination that, you know, she couldn't help but react to it.
I would say Jordan is probably one of our most quickest to sell out Acer Shirasawanums.
It's up there.
Moonrise is probably the crowd favorite, but Jordan's probably right around that second.
It's very popular.
It's more heat tolerant and more vigorous than Acer Shirasawanum aureum.
I still recommend some late day shade. It
do.
can handle the humidity, but you don't want to put it in full sun.
Yeah, exactly. But this tree can give you some really nice lemon yellows. The leaf will look more palmate on a young plant, but as it matures, it will start to look more and more like Acer Shirasawanum aureum.
Starts to get a lot larger.
Yeah, if you start to look at Acer Shirasawanum Jordan at a mature specimen, you'll often think that it's an aureum. But Jordan is, oddly enough, I mean, we could have Summer Gold right here beside this.
Right.
Because the rumor is that Summer Gold and Jordan were sister seedlings at Girardelli Nursery in Italy. And one's listed as a palmatum, the Summer Gold, and Jordan's listed as a Shirasawanum. And it's because the leaf shape is really different. Although Summer Gold, the seeds actually turn upwards like the Acer Shirasawanum.
Yeah, some nurserymen will define all trees that seed aim up as Acer Shirasawanum. And I've seen that a ton on Makawi Etsubusa and Makawi Etsubusa forums. I've had some seedlings from Makawa that all the seed aimed up on, but I don't think they were Shirasawanum. So I don't think it's a defining trait of only Shirasawanum, but it's a trait you see prevalent frequently in Acer Shirasawanum. Now, Jordan is a lovely plant. You heard me say this is a neon yellow. It is one of the brightest yellows. I mean, you wouldn't confuse this for Arium at the same time in the early spring because it is neon yellow. Now, that will fade to a light green midsummer, and you can get some awesome shades of oranges and reds. Typically, I get bold reds on mine in the fall. Awesome tree to be growing.
Now, we have a full video on Acer Shirasawanum Jordan you can go check out as well. It's a video in Dr. Kritikos' garden where you can see a more mature specimen.
Massive specimen. One of
out
our
in the
original
landscape
stock
and garden.
plants.
And you can see what Jordan is, and he's growing it pretty much in full sun in western North Carolina.
Yeah, we're 6B here, and that one's getting really no protection.
And it's turned into an amazing specimen.
One thing that's fun, if you do have an area where you could put this when a lot of sun, you almost get that bleached out look on it midsummer where it has like an even, you know, it's neon yellow, but you almost have like a white yellow going on. It gets really intense.
I really like that on it.
Most places you're going to need some late day shade. But if you can get it in more sun, it even gets crazier on the color. Now, one thing I love about Jordan is it's one of the most vigorous of the Shirasawanums. This one tends to get out there. Over a foot of growth a year isn't uncommon on this one. I've seen more than that. You can see from our 1 gallons, it's a big one on the table. They tend to grow pretty quickly.
And lastly today, we've got Acer Shirasawanum Gloria. I mean, this is one of the first reds that brought the red color into Acer Shirasawanum.
Oh, when I first saw this, I went crazy because there weren't many red Shirasawanum hybrids or Shirasawanums at this point. This one definitely has some palmatum influence for the color, the vigor, and also that leaf shape. This one is definitely a Shirasawanum, but it likely hybridizes to give it that more almost Matsumae looking leaf, the elongated, I mean, it's like a snowflake on the leaf. You still get a lot of what you love about Acer Shirasawanum. It's got that large, almost cartoonishly round leaf.
It does.
But awesome plant. I love this one. In the early spring, you could almost get some great pink reds on it. I've seen some great color patterns on this one.
It has some good vigor to it as well. People always ask us and they say, well, what's so great about a red Acer Shirasawanum? Well, there's a lot great about red Acer Shirasawanums.
What's so good about Japanese maples?
One of the great things about Acer Shirasawanums that are red is that they can really handle some of those really bad cold snaps that maybe some of the palmatums might get hit back with. Some people in Zone 5 really have been raging about a lot of the Acer Shirasawanums, Acer Seboldianums, and Acer Pseudoseboldianums after they get hit with that last polar vortex. And they're in zone
very durable, yeah.
They're in Zone 5 and they get hit with this crazy weather pattern, and a lot of their Acer Shirasawanums did fantastic.
If you don't know what's great about Acer Shirasawanum Gloria, I'm not sure I'm inviting you to the dinner party. Like, I'm not sitting next to you if I do. You're going at the end of the table. You're not in the middle. You can't sit in the middle where the conversation's going on. You got to go to maybe the kids' table.
I know there's a lot of people who, when they have a Gloria, they love the leaf on this shape. It's really got a very unique shape to the leaf, and it also really has some really nice bright crimson red fall colors. So overall, I mean, it's a great tree all the way around, and it's an Acer Shirasawanum bringing that red color into that species.
Guys, let us know what your favorite one on this presentation was. We've got Red Wing, Moonrise, Sensu, Jordan, and Gloria. So some home run hitters. Let us know if you have a favorite of this group. And let us know in the comment section below, if you're watching this one on YouTube, if you want to see a part 3 to Acer Shirasawanum.
You know, there could possibly be a part 4, maybe even a part 5. And we
Part
could get
7, part 22.
We love the Acer Shirasawanums here at Mr. Maple, so we're always working hard to make them available again so you can purchase them on MrMaple.com. Make sure you sign up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. We had at least 10 new trees every single Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you sign up for our email, you get notified early so you can get prepared.
Hey guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you don't, we're sad.
Take care.
God bless.
And have an awesome day.